Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. Now, I know a lot of you are sick of Modern right now. You don't think there are ways to beat the Eldrazi menace in Modern. I get where you're coming from, but not all hope is lost. There are some strategies that can still succeed. Not only that, but a few of them actually aren't that expensive. Today I'll be teching for you a mono red Goblins list that is 100% competitive in Modern. Best part? Really not that expensive compared to most Modern lists. To prove that, I'll be showing you the price of each card on tcgplayer.com as I talk about it. If you're interested in purchasing individual cards from the deck or the entire deck itself, you can click this link right here or the link in the description. Both bring you to a super easy checkout page. Let's get started. Mono Red Goblins may not seem like a prime contender in the current meta, but it's actually performing much better than it has any time in recent memory. While there are a few different lists running around, one particular shell has proven to be the most consistent and effective. That's the shell we're going to be talking about today. Since we're running a monocolor deck and we want to keep the cost down, 19 mountains. That's it for lands, just 19 mountains. If you want to upgrade to fetch lands, you're more than welcome to, but we're simple. Goblins are simple. Basic lands are simple. Let's get to the meat of the deck. I would say we should begin with the bottom of our curve, but we're playing Goblins, so half of our creatures are the bottom of our curve. We'll go one by one. A playset of Foundry Street Denizen make the cut because it's straight up value. You play any of your 33 creatures and the Denizen gets a nice power buff. Play multiple creatures, more buffs. This is a great way to get some extra damage in early game, especially against a slower deck or an Eldrazi deck that just didn't find one of their 8 Eldrazi lands. It's a great card. Next up is a playset of Goblin Bushwhacker. A 1/1 for 1 is but that kicker is fantastic. This becomes a 2/1 for 1 that pumps all of your other creatures and gives them haste. A truly aggressive goblin, this is definitely something we want to be encouraging in our list. Remember, we have to be ridiculously fast and brutal. Bushwhacker is pretty brutal. We're also running a playset of Legion Loyalist. I'm sure a lot of you probably forgot about this little guy, but that battalion trigger is hilarious. When you attack with the Loyalist and 2 other creatures, giving all your stuff first strike and trample is pretty insane. Remember, we're going to be doing a lot of buffing to our creature's power. Trample is definitely a relevant keyword, plus if we're being real, triggering Battalion is going to be criminally easy. If we can't trigger it, we lose. It's that simple. We have 8 1-drops left. 3 Mog Fanatic and 1 Frenzied Goblin are half of them. Mog Fanatic is in the deck because it's a great utility goblin. Of course, it triggers our Denizen and adds to our battalion count, but its real value is in that ability. You'd be surprised how many times sacrificing a Mog Fanatic to kill a Birds of Paradise is correct. Spoiler alert, every time. It also sacks to kill Eldrazi Mimic, which is particularly useful information, and it can also wreck a Vault Scourge. Mog Fanatic does serious work, it's a great card. Frenzied Goblin is in the deck because we really wanted one more creature. 33 just felt like the right number, but more than that, this is a great ability. It's not an ability we want all the time, which justifies the low inclusion number, but it's wonderful against strategies that drop early blockers that we just can't deal with. The Goblin, very affordably, lets us go right around them. There is value here, and you should expect more of this dude on sideboard for sure. Our last 1-drop is a playset of Goblin Guide. I know, the card is outrageously expensive. It actually accounts for 70% of the entire deck's cost. Yeah, that is stupidly expensive. But everyone, I can't find a suitable replacement that does the same job. I can't. I've tried. It's a fact that anything you replace Goblin Guide with will lower the effectiveness of the deck. A 2-power Goblin on turn 1 with haste is simply the best thing for this deck. Can you replace it with Monastery Swiftspear? Sure, but we're running 33 creatures and not that many spells that trigger prowess. Could you run Abbot? Sure, but it isn't a Goblin and it's 2 mana instead of 1 and it doesn't have haste. Your best bet is probably something like Vexing Devil. At least it guarantees you 4 damage or a removal spell most of the time. If I had a proper substitute for Goblin Guide, I'd tell you, but I don't. Eternal Masters is coming, maybe it'll be in there. Regardless, the card is great. The deck loves it. I guess Vexing Devil can do a decent filler impression for now. 20 of our creatures are 1-drops. It essentially guarantees us that we'll have some action turn 1. It's also why we only run 19 lands. Don't really need more than that when your average converted mana cost is 1.5. Anyways, let's keep going. On to 2-drops. We're running 3 Goblin Pile Driver because the Pile Driver might be the best goblin in Modern right now. Pro Blue is great. Getting +2/+0 for each other attacking goblin is super brutal, and it's pretty cheap at only 2 mana. We're not running a playset because we want to ensure we get our 1-drop goblins more often, but it's possible that 4 of these main deck is correct. Regardless, we're running the 4th in sideboard because this hoses blue decks so hard. Merfolk legit does nothing against this except throw Mutavaults at it. Next is a full playset of Mogg War Marshal. You could look at this card as a really weird dragon fodder. It'll create 2 tokens, but most of the time you won't even pay the echo cost, so it'll create them over a 2-turn period. Of course, if you get to use your awesome Bushwhacker ability or some other abilities we'll talk about real soon, the Marshal becomes significantly better. The reason why this is in here over dragon fodder itself is simply because it's a creature that can gain haste. It's easy enough. Our 6 3-drops really bring the deck together. 2 Goblin Chieftain in the main are a must. The card is insane, and giving all of your goblins a nice power and toughness buff along with haste, that's some board pressure most decks can't deal with. Also, great with the Marshal. Who needs to pay an echo cost when you're smashing in right away? It's real good. The Chieftain helps all of your goblins win in combat and complements your Legion Loyalist Battalion trigger nicely, making your first strike and trample even more effective. Lots of synergy here. The last creature in the deck, and one of the reasons Goblins has been having any success at all lately, is Reckless Bushwhacker, a 4 of. This new Oath of the Gatewatch inclusion has been tearing it up in Modern. It has haste, the surge cost is laughably easy to trigger, and giving your entire board a Goblin Bushwhacker buff is again amazing. We're basically running 8 Goblin Bushwhackers, except the Reckless version has an additional power that comes along with it. Doubling the amount of this effect in the deck has really led to Goblins being a more consistent Modern strategy. Reckless Bushwhacker is a real MVP. It covers all of our 33 creatures, which means we're left with 8 non-creature non-land cards. I'm sure you can guess what they are. 4 of them are Lightning Bolts. Lightning Bolt is one of the best Magic cards ever printed, really. Best burn spell for sure, best Modern burn spell obviously. No reason not to run 3 damage for 1 mana at instant speed. Use it to kill your opponent's creatures. Use it to kill your opponent. So many uses. I shouldn't have to explain why a Lightning Bolt is amazing, just play it. The last 4 spells in the deck are Goblin Grenades. This is the only deck where this card is even remotely viable, and in it, it's amazing. Goblin Grenade is a disgusting amount of damage for what ends up being a very low cost. 1 Goblin and 1 red mana for 5 damage. You get to Lava Axe anything. For 1 Goblin and 1 mana, yeah, I feel like that's fine. You have 32 other goblins to take its place, and 5 damage is 25% of your opponent's starting life total. Goblin Grenade is the reward you get for going deep in this strategy. Enjoy your reward, play it. That's it for the main deck. We're going to talk sideboard in a second, but it's important to reiterate what we're doing here. Mono Red Goblins is an aggro deck, a stupidly fast one. In the current meta, we're seeing a lot of Court of Calling decks, Collected Company, Affinity, and obviously Eldrazi strategies. It might not seem like much, but curving out with goblins is hard to fight against. With 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Goblin Grenades, and 8 Bushwhacker triggers, you can bet that not much is going to stop a goblin deck if it wants to get through. All of your creatures have a clear use, and I can't think of a situation where you'll take a turn and not contribute to your board state, burn something to death, or bash your head against the table attacking. You have to do one of these 3 things every turn or you'll probably lose fast. Just a thought. Oh, also, save your Goblin Grenades for Thought-Knot Seers and Reality Smashers. Don't use them on the stupid 2/2 endless ones. It's a waste of damage. Talking sideboard won't be too difficult. We're only running 1 color, so our options are limited. Thankfully, red and colorless are relatively deep on good sideboard cards. We'll begin with Smash to Smithereens for Affinity. You're running 4 of them in the board, you have to. That deck is everywhere and it's powerful. Smash destroys them. Easy. You run your extra Goblin Pile Driver to bring in against anything blue. Merfolk, Control, anything. Goblin Chieftain comes in against other fair decks, creature-based strategies, or decks with low removal. The Chieftain is only worth adding if you're looking at a game that could possibly stall on the ground. It's possible sideboarding Dragon's Claw against Burn is a good thing. The jury's still out, but with both of you playing red spells all the time, not sure how they kill you. The last general addition I'd mention is probably Tormod's Crypt. You gotta have a way to deal with graveyards. This is as good a way as any. I'd consider Relic, but ideally you never want to have mana open for anything besides smashing in with all your stuff. The total cost of this deck is around $220, possibly a bit lower. Without Goblin Guide, substituting in Vexing Devil, the deck becomes a $75 strategy. Incredibly cheap for how competitive it is. All the creatures work really well together, and I guarantee you'll have fun smashing faces. Way more entertaining than Naya Burn as far as I'm concerned. If this deck is something you're interested in purchasing, either parts of it or the entire thing, you can click the link right here, boom, or in the description. It will take you to TCG Player where the entire deck is ready to be added to a cart at a moment's notice. Get the pieces you need and smash face with goblins. Sounds good to me. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.